There are so many factors to streaming on Twitch. Does my camera look good? Does my audio sound good? Do I know what game I'm even gonna play? The list goes on and on and on. But there's a huge piece of the puzzle that I see mentioned in passing, but I rarely see it get covered in any sort of depth. Your mental health. If you aren't taking care of your brain, burnout, anxiety, and other issues can really start to have an impact on the content that you're making. And it can taint what in all senses should be an enjoyable experience for everyone, especially you, friend. So, hi everybody, my name's Spooky, and here are some hard-earned lessons that I've learned making content on Twitch and trying to keep those sad brain days at bay. Number 1, protect your space. This is a lesson that took me almost 2 years to learn on Twitch. There is a lot of gray area when it comes to moderating your chat on Twitch. Now, if you haven't already, I hate to break it to you, you are going to encounter situations where someone is going to either make you feel weird, hijack the conversation, or just generally fail to read the room. Now, they aren't necessarily breaking any rules, but at the same hand, you still need to do a gut check to figure out how to best manage a situation. So, let's set the scene. You're having a conversation about how great homemade pizza is, and Bong Ripper 69 drops in and starts talking about chemtrails. It's weird, it's off topic, but it's not inherently out of line. In that moment, you're gonna have a choice to make. 1, you can either let the conversation and everyone that is vibing with it get totally sideswiped, or you can offer a vibe check, like, hey friend, we're talking about this other thing. Can we maybe stick with the topic at hand and then move on to that later? Now, maybe that vibe check is all it takes and you're just able to carry on merrily. But more often than not, people will push things. They'll keep trying to force the conversation in their own direction and they won't let up, and it can totally kill the vibe. And more than likely, it's gonna throw you off balance as well. In those situations, it is 100% okay to throw a timeout or even just drop a full ban. Now, I know when you're a small creator or you're just starting out, it can be really nerve-wracking to start waving the ban hammer around, because even if that one person is kind of weird, at least they're watching your stream, right? All I can say is this: do not fear banning people. If you're feeling someone's behavior is affecting the content that you're trying to make and they're not choosing to be reasonable with you, they have no place at the table. Your future community is gonna be better off for you enforcing those rules and those boundaries early and often. All right, moving on. Moving on. All right, moving on. Number 2, be willing to stand up for yourself and your beliefs. A natural byproduct of existing on the internet means that you are eventually going to encounter people who disagree with you. This is not necessarily, however, a bad thing. We all love a little lively discussion. But when you are in the midst of that lively discussion, you may find yourself in a situation where your core values that you hold true are being challenged or potentially even outright disregarded. When you're chatting on Twitch, conversations move quickly. This is speaking from personal experience. If you do not stick up for yourself in those situations, it is going to have a huge impact on your mental health, your self-confidence, and everything in between. I've had a lot of moments in stream looking back where I have a lot of residual guilt and regret because I didn't use the platform that I've created for myself to take a firmer stance on issues that I hold really deeply. And because I didn't take a firmer stance, that then left me going into my next streams with a huge amount of anxiety for the next stream, the next conversation, all fearing that it was gonna come up again and that I wouldn't have the backbone to stand up. Okay, and here's the deal. I am open to discuss most things on my stream. I love talking, I love sharing opinions, I love meeting people where their differences lie. And let me make this clear. I'm not saying that because someone disagrees with you, they should automatically be like permabanned. But for my own sake and for the sake of my community, I've come up with a list of non-negotiable topics that we are not gonna leave up for spirited debate. These are things like trans rights, women's rights. It's a priority for me that marginalized folks can feel safe in my community and on my streams, and I'm not gonna entertain discussions about the relevance of the issues that face those communities. Now, and I can't remember which creator said this, but it's something that really resonated deeply with me. If at this point you are on Twitch and you are not making your community a safe, open, and welcoming space for everyone, you're in the wrong line of work. Whew, okay, we're coming out swinging. Let's move onward and upward. Let's get on to point number 3, but I am warm. This hoodie, it's hot in here. Whew, I got too hot. Forgive the continuity errors. Point number 3, it's time to ditch the Grindset. Do you know what happens when you take a sander to a piece of wood for a really, really long time? That's right, it gets ground down to nothing. One of the most pervasive and unhealthy mentalities I see on Twitch is the I just gotta grind and then I'll make it mentality. This ain't it. Throwing hours and hours and days of going live is just going to exhaust you. And you're also not gonna get the results that you're looking for. Frankly, pulling those kind of hours doing anything isn't gonna make your brain very happy. I don't like going to work for 8 to 10 hours a day. I'm not gonna like streaming for 8 to 10 hours a day on top of that. Variety is, as they say, the spice of life. Spend less time streaming and more time mixing up what you're doing with your days. Look into learning how to do other things, edit your own videos, do simple graphic design, connect with other creators, network, make friends. Hell, go outside and just live a little. Get some experiences from outside your stream room. Even if it's just a walk around the neighborhood or playing games at a buddy's house, this is going to give you things to talk about on your stream. And in the meantime, it's going to make your brain happier. Right, so this is basically the TLDR is live, then go live, all right? Let yourself live a little bit. Don't spend hours and all of your life grinding away trying to make it on Twitch when you'll be happier and more successful in the long run, treating this like what it truly is. Marathon, not a sprint. Okay? Easy. All right. Moving on, next is a little bonus tip for when you're actually streaming, because it is very key to preserve that mental wellness when you're live and in the moment. Turn off your view count. Oh, I have a confession, my friends. I streamed with my view count on, constantly visible, for the first 1 year and 8 months of my career on Twitch. I thought I was different. I thought seeing that little red number jump up and down had no effect on how I made my content or how my brain felt at the end of the night. I was wrong. The first day I streamed without my view count was like a blindfold had been lifted off my eyes. That view count, you just don't need to see it when you're live. Knowing the number in the moment doesn't change anything about the content that you should be making, regardless of what that number is. That does not impact how good of a job you are doing. But it also makes me wonder, because I was such a long holdout, do you stream with your view count on? If you do, please tell me why in the comments, and then pinky promise me that you will not continue to stream with your view count on. Okay, cool. Thank you. Moving on to the real tips now. Now, lastly, but most importantly, give yourself grace. This is something that I struggle with daily, if not hourly, minutely, by the second. As content creators, we are always balancing so much. It seems impossible to keep up. And I'm not even doing Twitch full time. I have a cat. I have a day job. It took me 5 hours to feel confident enough to even turn this camera on, and that doesn't even count the amount of time that I spent writing this script before I even started filming the video. There are so many instances where I don't hit goals or deadlines that I impose upon myself, and when I finally do get a spare minute where I could be working on things, I end up not doing that because I'm exhausted. I just need time to do nothing, and that's okay. But what's not okay is beating myself up over it, saying, oh, I should have done this. I could have made that video. I could have moved something around in OBS really quick so that the next stream would just be a little bit more polished. We need to remind ourselves that we deserve breaks. We don't have to be constantly producing all the time. In fact, it's better if we're not. The content that we do make, if we're well rested, relaxed, and know what we're doing, is going to be sharper, better, and just overall be more enjoyable for us to make. I can often get really, really down on myself if I feel like I'm not hitting my goals fast enough, quickly enough, if I'm not uploading consistently. Beating ourselves up over all of these things doesn't make the situation better. If anything, it makes it harder the next time, because if you let yourself down from the next goal that you set, you're just going to keep kicking yourself. Just meet yourself where you're at. Be kind to yourself. And just know, if you're out there, if you're watching this video, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you're doing. I'm proud of what you have accomplished. We're going to keep pushing, and we're going to crush it. All right, gang, I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, the validation that I will get from you clicking that like button down below will be huge. If you're looking for another couple of tips about how to look after your own Twitch community, you can watch this video here, or you can roll the dice, and I'm pretty sure YouTube will tell you to watch something else here. But regardless of all that, be good, be careful, be good and careful. I'll see you in the next one.